Hey, what's going on, guys? It's the Crypto Siege with another day in the life and the crazy life that is the digital asset space. Good morning. Happy Wednesday to you. What an exciting time to be an early adopter in this new asset class that is the digital asset space. I hope you're excited that you are, in fact, my friends, early to the game. You and I love to say this, but you and I are playing a game that 99.99% of the masses don't even know is being played. And we're winning. That, my friends, is a pretty cool place to be. All right, guys, so listen, this is your XRP Ripple news in around 0 to 10 minutes. So let's do this. Just shout out to my guy, Ander Lundberg on Twitter. Guys, make sure you follow this guy. He always comes out with some great stuff, continuing every day to add value to the digital asset space and most importantly to the XRP community. Follow him on Twitter at it's at X_Anderson, X like an X-ray. So at X_Anderson on Twitter. And this is what he was responding to someone else's tweet, right? So it says, this is an article, countries around the world are moving away from SWIFT with or without Ripple. It's not only up to the United States. And this is an article on businessinsider.com that we're going to cover here, but it says Europe should not allow the US to act over our heads. Interesting article on businessinsider.com. So guys, let me do this, get rid of this, and let's cover this. This is going to be an interesting read because I think it's really, really important to note that there's two dynamics going on here, really. So one is SWIFT and the weaponizing of SWIFT, right? And in major nations, again, someone said, I don't know if it was Giancarlo, I don't know if it was, it might have been Brad Garlinghouse, but someone had pointed out that you got to understand something, and I think it was Giancarlo who said, you have to understand that the weaponizing of SWIFT, with SWIFT and by the United States and the sanctions, that can become a challenge not only for the non-allies of the United States, but also for the allies of the United States as well. Because since the dollar is the world's reserve currency, what the US does affects the allies as well. So when it affects the US negatively, it affects the allies negativity as well. You understand that? So it's an impact on the allies as well. And that's very, very, very important to know. Germany being one of those. So let's cover this here. So Europe should not allow the United States to act over our heads. Germany is challenging the United States financial monopoly as the Iran road deepens. Okay, and this is Mr. Maas, Heiko Maas of Berlin. So these are some of the key takeaways, and then I'll go into the article. Germany's foreign minister has challenged the United States monopoly on the global payments infrastructure. Writing in the German daily Handelsblatt on Tuesday, Heiko Maas said, it is indispensable that we strengthen European autonomy by creating payment channels that are independent of the United States. It's very important to note that there's a company, and a good old US of A company called Ripple, that acts in an open source, inclusive, interoperable, level playing field arena where no one is in charge, in control of it. And it happens to use it happens to use a digital asset in XRP where no country issues it. So no country has the dominating control over it. And we all know Mr. Giancarlo and others are really looking to XRP as a currency. And again, not controlled. Thus, it cannot be manipulated and leveraged by any nation. So you throw in the fact that Ripple has this platform of open source. They have this interledger protocol that provides interoperability for the worlds to connect, with the digital asset, not controlled by any country. Those points, my friends, are game changers in this new space that we're moving in. The new space that we're moving in is about interoperability. It's about inclusive. It is about digital assets. It's about connecting the world, the global nations, and providing a level playing field. All right, so some of the other highlights and points that he makes here. It is high time to reevaluate our partnership. How about that? He said, it is high time to reevaluate our partnership. European businesses have been caught between the European Union and the United States over trade with Iran amid U.S. sanctions. The French energy giant Total officially pulled out of the country. So maybe the name of the German company is called Total, officially pulled out of the country on Monday under U.S. pressure. All right, so let's get into this article a little bit. The United States monopoly over the global payments infrastructure has been challenged by Germany's Foreign Minister Heiko Maas, who has suggested that the European Union should set up its own payment system that would give Brussels independence from Washington. Very, very important to understand what's going on geopolitically and how it affects our investment, right? Maas wrote in the German Daily Handelsblatt on Tuesday that the EU should strengthen European autonomy by creating payment channels that are independent of the United States, a European monetary fund, and an independent SWIFT system. SWIFT is a global payment management system based in Belgium that allows financial institutions to send and receive information about transactions. SWIFT claims political neutrality, but it has reportedly bowed to U.S. influence in the past, blocking transactions to Cuba and Iran. So yeah, it's not a report. This is an actual fact. This is what they're doing. And the world is paying attention to the fact that SWIFT is doing that. And they're going to want something that won't allow for such madness in the future. It's the bottom line. Maas' comments come in the midst of a standoff between the United States and Europe over U.S. sanctions against Iran. The United States has vowed not to do business with any companies that operate in Iran. But Brussels has tried to exempt European firms by using a blocking statute under EU law. So far, the efforts do not appear to be working. On Monday, the French energy giant Total officially announced it was pulling out of Iran. Pulling out of Iran. Other European companies, including Maersk, which is major, M-A-E-R-S-K, Maersk, and Puget, have also withdrawn in recent weeks. Europe should not allow the U.S. to act over our heads and at our expense, Maas wrote. This is the foreign minister. The foreign minister added it was vital that Europe stick to the Iran deal, an agreement that asked Iran to give up its nuclear enrichment program in exchange for freedom from crippling sanctions that have restricted trade. Every day the deal is alive is better than the highly explosive crisis that would otherwise threaten the Middle East, he wrote. Maas called for a balanced partnership with the United States in which Europe would fill gaps in the world left by the American withdrawal. He said Europe must form a counterweight when the U.S. crosses red lines. The statement by Maas was the strongest call yet for EU financial and monetary autonomy, VIS, US, the Thorsten Benner, director of the Global Policy Institute, a Berlin-based think tank, told the Financial Times. It is high time to reevaluate our partnership. The Europeans must become a mainstay of the international order, a partner for all who are committed to this order. Very, very interesting article. Shout out to the people from the Business Insider. Interesting thing. Again, we have to pay attention geopolitically what SWIFT is doing, how the U.S. is monopolizing and weaponizing what SWIFT. These sanctions, they hold major weight, but we have to point out the fact the major nations like Germany are not comfortable with what they believe to be the U.S. crossing the line and only acting in its own interest. And when they say payment system, they want to have their own payment system. Their own payment system. Again, you think about that. How is this Germany's or the EU's own payment system going to do trade and do other things other places? They'll have to have a measure. They'll have to have a mechanism that connects them. And that's Ripple. That's Ripple and the Ripple Net. That's the ILP. And when it comes to settlement, it will be the greatest digital asset ever created, which is XRP. Very, very important to know, guys. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to wrap up this video like I do all my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather us remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating, or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, that the battle for you has already been fought, and the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.